You're 18 years old, standing in a Roman recruitment line in central Italy. Your family's farm is barely producing enough to pay taxes. The recruiter is offering a signing bonus enough to clear your father's debt. You take it. That's the last independent decision you'll make for 16 years. Day 1 at the training camp. You're awake at an hour you can't identify because there's no sun yet.
This document bears the Emperor's seal. You will serve.
I understand, but I have questions.
Your optio, the assistant to the centurion, is screaming 6 inches from your face. You don't understand why, you haven't done anything. That's the point. You learn quickly that punishment isn't connected to behavior, it just exists. Constant, arbitrary, unavoidable. Your brain stops trying to predict it, you just endure. The beatings start on day 3, not for mistakes, for existing. You're hit with a wooden staff across your shoulders while running drills. You stumble, you're hit again for stumbling. You keep moving because stopping means more hits. By week 2, your body has learned to keep moving regardless of pain. That's not courage, that's conditioning. Sleep deprivation is systematic. You're woken at random intervals, 2 hours after you fell asleep, 4 hours, 30 minutes. Your mind becomes clouded, thought requires energy you don't have. Commands become easier to follow than thinking. By week 4, you execute orders before consciously processing them. Your optio notices, he smiles. You're progressing correctly. Month 2, gladius training begins. You practice one motion, low thrust upward into the abdomen just above the hip. Twist, withdraw, reset. You do this on wooden posts for 8 hours daily. Your shoulder burns. Your wrist swells, you keep practicing. By month 3, you can execute the motion in your sleep. You have executed it in your sleep. The dreams started in week 5. A recruit in your contubernium, your 8-man tent unit, tries to leave in month 3. You watch them drag him back at dawn. You never see him again. Nobody explains what happened. Nobody needs to. The lesson is transparent. There is no leaving. The person you were ended when you signed the contract. What's left is legion property. By month 6, something fundamental has changed in you. You don't think of yourself as an individual anymore. You're a legionary. Your contubernium is your family, not because you chose them or like them, but because you've been conditioned to function as part of that unit or experience psychological distress. When your centurion orders you to hold position during a training exercise where the enemy outnumbers you 4-1, you hold. Not from bravery. Disobeying creates worse suffering than dying. Now you're a different person. A farmer in Gaul, working land your family has held for 3 generations. You're 25, you know this soil. You know when to plant, when to harvest, how to read weather in the sky. You've hunted boar in the forests. You've slaughtered livestock. You understand that sharp things kill, but you've never killed a person. Nobody's trained you to overcome the psychological barriers to interpersonal violence. The Roman century appears on the road bordering your fields. 80 men in perfect formation. You call to your neighbors. 40 farmers assemble, some with hunting spears, most with farm tools. You outnumber the Romans. You have the advantage, that's what you think. The centurion raises his hand. The formation stops. Perfect synchronization. Nobody's talking. Nobody's preparing themselves mentally for violence. They're just waiting. That silence creates a fear you've never experienced. It's the fear of facing something that doesn't operate on human logic. Your neighbor charges. 15 men follow him. This is how you fight: individual courage, personal initiative, defending your land. Watch what happens. The Roman front rank takes one step forward, shields up. Your neighbor's axe hits the shield wall. It doesn't penetrate. The legionary behind that shield executes the motion he's practiced 10,000 times. Low thrust, upward twist. Withdraw, your neighbor is on the ground. The formation hasn't broken stride. The men who charged are hitting the shield wall. Every farm tool that connects a gladius appears in the gap. Low thrust, upward twist, withdraw, it's mechanical. 6 men down in 20 seconds. The formation is undisturbed. The survivors back away. You're experiencing something the Romans aren't: fear, confusion, grief. These are your neighbors bleeding in front of you. The legionaries feel none of that. Not because they're braver. 3 years of conditioning destroyed their capacity for emotional response during combat. They're not thinking about the men they just killed. They're waiting for the next command. The formation moves forward. Not charging, walking, steady, measured. Inevitable, every step gives you time to think about running. Most farmer armies break here before contact. You don't run, your farm is behind you, your family. If you run, the Romans take everything. So you stand, contact. The shield wall hits your line. You swing your scythe at the shield in front of you. It bounces off. A gladius appears. You see it for perhaps half a second before it enters your abdomen just above your hip. You didn't see the legionary's face. You didn't see him decide. He just executed the programmed motion. You're on the ground. The formation walks past you. You're lying in your own field, bleeding, watching the formation kill men you've known your entire life. The battle lasts 4 minutes, 40 farmers dead or wounded, 0 Roman casualties. Not because the Romans are superhuman, because you're fighting as individuals and they're fighting as a machine. The centurion walks through the field afterward checking bodies. He's not cruel, he's not angry, he's doing inventory. Wounded enemies who might recover get a quick thrust through the heart. It's efficient. He approaches you. You try to speak to beg, he doesn't hear you. He's not processing you as a person, you're a tactical problem, he solves it. One thrust. The farmer army lost because farmer armies always lose against professional soldiers when numbers are comparable. Not because farmers lack courage, you had courage. Not because farmers can't fight, you knew how to use weapons. You lost because you remained a human being experiencing normal fear and making individual decisions, while they'd been systematically converted into tactical machines. But here's what matters. If you had survived, you could have returned to your farm, back to your family. You'd have nightmares about the man you tried to kill, but you'd process it, integrate it, remain a functional human being. The legionary can't do that. After 16 years of service, he's psychologically incapable of civilian life. Rome doesn't discharge him into society, they settle him in a military colony where he lives under a former centurion until death. He can't return to farming, he can't form normal relationships, he can't make independent decisions. The conditioning that made him effective destroyed his ability to exist outside military structure. You're more effective at being human, he's more effective at killing. Which kind of effectiveness actually matters depends on what you're optimizing for. Rome chose battlefield dominance and paid the price in hundreds of thousands of psychologically broken men who could never go home. Look at the long-term economics. Farmer armies cost nothing, no training, no permanent garrisons, no pensions, you call levy when needed, fight, everyone goes home. The inefficiency preserves humanity. Roman legions are catastrophically expensive. Constant training, permanent infrastructure, massive logistics, veteran colonies. The efficiency converts humans into tactical machines. When the Western Roman Empire falls in 476, it's not because soldiers became less capable. It's because the system became unsustainable. You can't maintain millions of psychologically broken men in permanent military service indefinitely. The economic cost crushes you. The social cost, entire generations of men who can't exist outside military structure, destabilizes everything. The kingdoms that replace Rome use farmer levies supplemented by small professional retinues. Less battlefield efficiency, but sustainable across centuries. It works because it doesn't require converting your entire male population into psychological casualties. Professional soldiers win battles by being better at killing. Farmer armies sustain civilizations by preserving the humanity of their populations. Rome chose battles over sustainability. If this examination of what military effectiveness actually costs has shifted how you think about ancient warfare, subscribe to myth-busting, we're analyzing historical systems through human cost instead of celebrating victories. Drop a comment. What other military system should we examine by looking at what it did to the people operating it?